we're gonna start. We'll probably get a new person entering the room while we are talking. So my name is Thomas Wittische. Good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to this last session of the Luxembourg Internet Days. As I like to say, the last but not the least, because we're gonna talk about two very interesting topics today, which are about contact tracing, which is a very burning topic, and as well together with Xavier Lisoir, we'll be discussing about e-signature. So just to start now about contact tracing, I have a quick video that I'm hoping will be working with the sound and the video. So I will switch to share my screen right now, putting the sound on and going through the video.
Life as we know it has been put on hold as COVID-19 has proven our health and well-being isn't something to be taken lightly. Hitting the resume button on life may bring about many questions, but the most important one is, how do we maintain workplace safety for ourselves? Introducing Contact Tracer, our way of keeping you safe in the workplace as well as our clients and our families. This little beacon helps us with contact tracing if there's a confirmed case of COVID and maintaining social distancing. By carrying the beacon paired with the app, we can trace the spread to its source and prevent further infections by detecting other beacons in the area. Contact Tracer accurately detects those who have been in contact with a confirmed case, right down to the time of contact and the duration, while keeping data private. It also sends you helpful alerts when you are too close to someone to help you maintain safe social distancing practices. Set up once and you're ready to go. When in the office, remember to keep the beacon with you at all times. Eliminating the spread of COVID-19 is a big task, but not an impossible one. Like any problem that came before, if we work together as one, this task can be conquered and we'll come out the other end stronger than ever together.
Well, I hope you had a chance to see a bit of the video. In any case, we will be discussing about that over the next 10 minutes. So yes, we have implemented a solution which is called contact tracing within PwC Luxembourg. Basically, with the main challenge of trying to limit the spread of the virus. Why did we come to that direction? Just because over the nearly 3,000 persons we are having in the office, we were having some difficulties to basically trace the people and inform the people on the right time about the potential infection they would have been facing. So all of that, the idea of this little token is quite easy, basically. So what is it? It's a little token, or let's say a beacon. It's a signal system. So there's a little chipset inside. And these little tokens that you also see on the screen is paired with a PwC Contact Tracer app, which allows us basically when you wear it, so everyone has been delivered with that, or nearly everyone. The idea is that each and every time my app sees a token around using the signal system, it will keep the data onto a specific server and will allow, in case we need, to query the data and trying to get to know basically who has been in close contact with someone else. So basically, it's easy. If I'm getting myself infected, I will give a call to my HR department. The HR department are the only person who can access a specific dashboard. I will give basically my token number, and they will be in the position to look for other token I have been in close contact with for a period of time, and also for a certain number of days, so that we can quickly and easily communicate towards potential infected employees, and also to kind of reinforce our existing security measures. So obviously, it's also a tool that allows us, probably in Jan, to make people more, let's say, feeling safe and secure being back to the office. But for the time being, we don't know what what we will be facing in terms of confinement, either in the different countries, being Belgium, Germany, France. As you know, we most of us confined at home. We don't know yet how the Luxembourgish, what the Luxembourgish government will be saying this week or early next week, but at least we believe that these solutions help us again to identify and to communicate as quickly as possible. And basically what I'm trying to say there is that what is important for me is to get informed if I have been in close relationship with someone, for example, on a Friday evening, before I decide to move over the weekend to my grandmother's house or to my parents, because obviously if I know about that information, I will probably change my plan. So the tokens we're having basically two solutions. So one is ConTra ID, which is basically equipped to our employee as well as to our externals that stay with us in the office. So we have a number of consultants that works basically always with us. So we also want to equip them. And we have another solution, which is also brand new, which is called ConTra One. So it's also having that little chipset, signal system, or e-beacon technology. But on top of that, there is a small Wi-Fi chipset that allows basically us to connect this little ConTra One device to our Wi-Fi systems. And the idea is really to deliver our clients when they come to our office in order to be equipped for the time they stay with us. And then when they leave the company, or when they leave the building, basically, they just give it back to us. The good things there, and what we are basically also asking our clients to do when they join the office is, if they feel sick or if they are sick or detected infected in the 5-7 days that followed their visit to our building, we are more than happy to get to know about it, because then we will be able to take their token number and try to understand with which other token they've been in contact with. And in the opposite, if we have one of our potential PwC employees who went in contact or who went infected, to inform our clients about that potential infection they would have been through. So that's about and I hope you see it well. I have my iPad on the side to see it as well. So that's basically the dashboard that is being used by our HR departments. So all the little bubbles, circles, are basically a token, or someone basically wearing a token. And the idea is that if I'm calling the HR department, they would just need to type my token number on the top there, or my phone number, because basically it is associated with my phone number. They will be able also to filter into a distance, so basically the proximity of less than 2 meters for a specific period of time. So usually we're using 900 seconds, so 15 minutes, as well as looking for a certain number of days. We don't filter into time during the day, we just look onto a specific date. And by doing that, basically we will be able to display a kind of a cluster of potential person. So if I was putting my number, if I was infected, HR department will be in the position to see that the orange bubble have been in close relationship with me, and basically reaching them out to let them know about the story, advising them maybe to stay home, advising them maybe to go and get tested, or advising them maybe not to go and meet their grandmother over the weekend. And I think that's really, again, the key. So you're going to ask me, and as you see on the screen, and I will re-mention that again a bit later, but we are not using or storing or processing any types of geolocalization data. This is only and purely done onto a signal system, meaning that if you're staying in the middle of the sea with one of your colleagues, or if you're staying in a desert, being in Alaska, or being any place, basically we don't know where you are. That's not the goal at all. The only things we know is that you are in contact with a potential person who is equipped with the token. So going through the next slides, the rule that we get to our employee when basically implementing or deploying the tool. So basically we started deploying a POC version in September, and then we have equipped our colleagues as of 11th of October. We are still deploying it, because obviously we didn't have the chance to have everyone coming back to the office, but basically obviously we strongly recommend people to use it. It's not mandatory. It's just that as many people wearing it, as better the data, the level of data quality will be. So obviously, we encourage people to do that. It has to be wear at all time. Basically, it's next to my access card, so that's not so difficult. But obviously, the iPhone needs also to be in a kind of a close distance of 15 meters maximum because it links to the Bluetooth technology. As I said earlier, we are using basically the eBeacon protocol technology. You might not be so much familiar with such a technical protocol. The eBeacon technology is below the featuring of the service of localization. However, again, even if we activate that, there is no kind of geolocalization aspect that are being used, stored, or processed. So I'm sorry for the one who believes that we are tracing people on their geolocalization. This is absolutely not what we are doing, and that has been carefully looked at. We have set up a number of controls as well to make sure that only our HR department can access the dashboard. So it's pretty much, from a data privacy standpoint, we are pretty much confident, I'll say. And we also notify the CMP, as you see on the slides, because I think it was important to let them know that we were having that solution in place. So basically, when we talk about data here, we only talk about basically the phone number. There is nothing more on that. Obviously, having ConTra does not change the way we're looking at sanitary measures within our premises. It's clear. So basically, it's not because you will wear this little token that you will not get infected. So every type of sanitary measure, being the mask, shared hydroalcoholic, all that must remain very much important to our practice. Also, how we're interacting, social distancing, it's a very key aspect of us for the implementation. The data are stored anonymously on AWS servers located in Europe. Basically, and to be more precise, it's located in Frankfurt. That was a key element we wanted to implement. And obviously, what we ask our people, it's easy. And I think this is even mandatory for us. It's please, if you get infected, let us know. Let us know, because then we can also inform others and make sure that we can limit the spread of the virus. So that's very much the main objective. Data are retained for maximum of 21 days. 21 days meaning that the data that are like 29 October are already gone. We only send data to the servers in AWS from 7:30 in the morning to 8 in the evening, and from Monday to Friday. And only, as I said earlier, our HR department can query the information, the volumetric data, basically using the dashboard. Now, I mean, we might go through questions. I don't know if there is already some question in the chat. I'm gonna check. Maybe I can answer those questions very quickly. No question for the timing. However, you got my number in there. Yes, very transparently, we can also get that installed to any types of company who might be interested. So just feel free to contact me for that. Now, I will let the floor to my dear colleagues, Xavier Lisoir, who talked about the e-signature project. So I guess, Xavier, you can take the little bubble. And yes, the floor is yours. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot, Thomas. Yes, and it's even working. Great. As you have seen, we take great care of our people, but we also take care of our operations. So, as an audit firm, PwC was also impacted by COVID, but maybe less than other thanks to an earlier initiative that proved to be very, very valuable under those circumstances. And before digging into the detail, I propose that we take a step back and that we look at the broader context. Yes. I mean, no surprise, not so long ago, those pictures were a common practice. What I mean, paper-based signature, handwritten signature, it was not the best practice. It has never been the best practice, but it was a very common practice. why was it a best practice? Simply because it's quite challenging to confirm who was actually signed. You need to be a graphologist, and even like that is as much as an art of, as it is in science. It's always challenging to see if the document that you are signing has not been altered, unless you are doing in real time with your counterpart. When documents are circulated, you never know where they are, or what is the status, who has actually signed. If somebody is off or that document is lost, you need to redo everything again. So it's really challenging to operate it. Nevertheless, it has proved very popular. And despite that e-signature has been introduced more than 20 years ago now with the initial EU directive, the practice has been questioned for many years, but it's proved to be very well entrenched in people's minds and in the corporate habits, and it survived until not so long ago. But when I say not so long ago, you all notice that a few months ago, something struck all the companies called confinement, and it forced nearly overnight to send workers off from the open space, which were more or less empty. And then they had to try to operate in I would say challenging conditions. And the main issue was not the fancy dress code that they usually adopted, but also to be able to operate in proper condition, to be able to have the information circulating, to be able to cooperate with their colleagues. All this became very, very challenging, and there was no exception for the actual signing of documents. All the paper-based processes overnight started to take ages, and all the shortcomings that people had learned to live with turned to be unbearable anymore. Typically, that meant that a document was not circulated from one floor to another, but was to be circulated by the mailman or with DHL, or even worse, some colleagues driving to each other's house to hand over documents and even defeating the purpose of confinement. And then this idea of e-signature came back on the table, and tried to address the blatant demonstration that this historical paper-based signature process was absolutely not adequate under the paperless, or at least the COVID context. And that's where, to some extent, we were lucky enough, because we had not waited until the COVID to start a pilot. In the beginning of 2019, 2020, sorry, we had initiated a pilot to try to sign a key document for us, which is audit opinion or audit report. So why have we taken that document? Because, as I say, it's a critical document for an audit firm. So it's typically the document that a client will use to demonstrate that PwC has audited his financial account and his activity. So you can understand that has a very important value. The other benefit of this document is only entails one single signature, so the PwC signature. And it was also a good candidate because due to regulation, it's very important to know who has signed it. It's not only PwC signed it, but it's a specific partner, and this partner needs to be compliant with a series of measures. So it's very important to demonstrate that it's really the right person committed on this. So what did we do? Typically, we digitized the document. That was not really a major problem, but we mainly equipped the partner in charge of the signature with electronic device, and more precisely electronic applications, and that allowed them to sign the document, to first consult the document, to sign the document through the convenience of their phone without any additional device, neither a smart card nor a token. And all this was replaced by the identification and the signature across the mobile phone with all the convenience of the identification, the biometric authentication, and all those nice stuff that we enjoy, except when we are wearing a face mask. But all this is quite convenient, quite smooth in terms of user experience. And that's something that we put in place. And after the initial training, actually the feedback were pretty good, and we more or less finalized the MVP, taking into account the initial feedback and the fine tuning just a couple of weeks before COVID struck. And actually, we were in a very good position to be able to deploy the solution to a broad scale, and because we knew how to anticipate the relation of the reaction of our client, we had already put in place the archiving stream, because that's very important. That when you have a digital signed document, you really consider that as the official evidence. So you need to archive it in a secure place that will ensure the integrity and the availability of the document. Because it's important to keep in mind that a paper copy of that digitally signed document is worthless from a legal perspective. So it's really important to take care of that. And we also had secured the green light of the CSSF, which is the supervisory body of the auditor. So they were all fine with that, and we could scale that quite extensively during the COVID. So what we noticed is that success breeds success. So as soon as the first one were released, were issued, partners talked to each other. They realized that it was convenient, that it was easy to access, and then it spread quite quickly internally. It also proved very popular and very well accepted with our client, as you can notice. So in less than a year, we have already signed 12,000 documents with that system, only for audit opinions. That means more than 70% of the opinions that we issued were digitally signed, which for a first year is quite an achievement. I think COVID helped, to be transparent. But nevertheless, we are quite proud of this situation, and especially with the satisfaction associated to that. It did not happen overnight. It requires some explanation, some training. People need to feel comfortable with the tool, to be reassured about the legal value of the systems. That's why it's also important that the nature of the document is assessed, and that you have a legal opinion that helps you to define which signing mechanism is more suitable to your situation. In our case, for this specific type of document, we use qualified signature. But all in all, people really started to trust the process, and it became very popular. One also of the reasons it became popular is that we deploy it through mobile devices. So we could get rid of the traditional tokens and smart cards that you may have experienced in the past. They always come with a series of problems that they are lost, broken, need to be replaced, or they require, you are facing compatibility issues due to the version of the virtual machine or the version of the browser, and you spend more time trying to fix your configuration than actually signing. None of those issues here. It was really smooth, and the app was working very well, and has been very well regarded by the user. Now that's the status where we are, or we are even a little further, because as we really have a mature signing process, we are embedding that process into the overall document management lifecycle to really have an end-to-end digital lifecycle, which makes life easier in terms of traceability, in terms of archiving. We have also identified multiple use cases, either purely internal, like individual certificate that need to be issued to confirm that you work for PwC and you can cross the border to come to work in case of, or for electronic invoices, or we are also now starting to issue contracts. So that's important to understand that the difference between what we did and a contract is that the contract requires at least 2 signatures. So it means a different kind of relationship with the third party, but even for that, we are moving forward, and up to a point that now we have officially adopted e-signature first policy. So it means that for any new process or any revision of a process, we will put forward the electronic signature as the default choice. So we will always for sure keep a backup option based on paper, but that's really now the philosophy. I mean, the initial feedback has been so good that it really became the way to go, for us. So for those who know PwC and the reluctance we have had in the past towards also electronic signature is quite an achievement. So it means that if a company like PwC trusts electronic signature for a document as key as audit opinion, and that we manage to convince partners to adopt that, the CSSF and our clients, I think it means that it's certainly relevant to quite a broad kind of use cases and companies, and we would be happy to share our experience in this domain should you be interested.
And Xavier, maybe I'm jumping in as we just got a couple of questions within the chat, so I guess it would be good to take them. And I guess we are ending. I think it's the last slide that you got. So we got a question, which is it possible to sign with a smartphone usual services like face recognition or fingerprints?
Alors, it's important to make a distinction between the authentication process, so that demonstrates that you are who you claim to be towards your device, and then the actual signing process. So so it's fully possible too, but it's not the facial recognition that triggers the signature. So that is the signature. It's really 2 different steps. And what is certified under EIDAS regulation is the signing server. So it's happening on the provider side. So in this case, with Luxembourg, which is a certified entity, and then they are in charge of certifying the whole chain that they provide to their customer. So we use also their app. So it's the whole chain of trust which is certified, and that is I would say accepted as a qualified signature. So it means at the same level of an handwritten signature.
So I would say I will guess that therefore an app which is kind of can work with Lux Trust should work to kind of do that signature with the smartphone.
So it's really important to understand it's not something that you can self-declare. You can create your own app and then, okay, even if the algorithms are public, the key is to be certified. So all the tools, all the actors involved in the chain were certified, and it's easy to see who is actually certified because it's a public directory managed by the European Commission, and you can see in each country, which service provider and which kind of services are certified for each of them.
Okay, and 2 quick questions finally. How is it materialized within the document? So I already saw it on the
what is good to know is that the level of materialization is purely discretionary. So you could have nothing, you could have something visible or not, because that doesn't alter the value. It's purely a convention between the users.
Okay.
So what matters is really the encryption mechanism and something and the way it's embedded in the document. But there is no, I would say, visual standards accompanying the guidelines. So it's purely an indicative, and we decided to have something that looked as the handwritten signature of the partner plus a message saying it was digitally signed. So to be sure that even if someone was printing that, it was clear that it was not the real evidence.
All right. And last question, and I think you may have answered that in between. Which standard is used? I guess so that.
So we use a qualified signature. So to make it short, there are 3 levels of signature in the e-regulation, and for this type of document, we use the highest one. But it's important to make the assessment up front to see what makes sense or not in a specific context. Maybe I see another one that could be worthwhile regarding DocuSign. And anyway, without quoting a tool or not, I think it's really important that you understand what you are using and what you are buying, because most of the tools, they offer different flavors, different level of security. And I don't know if you've noticed, but this week a judge in the Netherlands overturned a signature that was done with Adobe, the Adobe online platform, because it did not meet the requirements. So, and again, depending on how the platform is set up, it can meet or not meet the requirements. So it's very important, especially with tools like DocuSign or Adobe signing platform, which offer different flavors, different levels of signing capabilities, to be fully aware of what you are buying and what you are using, because there's a lot of misunderstanding about that. Well, just my advice on this one.
No, that's great. So I guess we're not running so much out of time. What is for sure, because just exactly 30 minutes after we started. So what I suggest, if you have any additional questions, just post it there onto the chat. If not, I'm very much happy to answer any of the questions you may have after that conference. If you're done, Xavier, I think if you say your final word, I just want to wish everyone to stay positive, in a good health, and spread that positive attitude towards your colleagues, family. I'm sure we're gonna get very quickly out of that situation. So be good, be safe, and stay positive.
Have a nice evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.